All right, so I decided. Actually, I've been trying to make a video last couple of days, but I'm not a video editor whiz. I originally wanted to put a video inside of this video. Instead, just posted a clip of the video I wanted to add to this to Facebook. So if anyone wants, they can check that out. It's just me standing for the first time in the hospital after the accident. My mom recently sent me a bunch of pictures and videos she had taken. My first, well, actually, my whole stay in the hospital, both Parkview North and Parkview Randalia, or PRMC, whatever, Parkview North, same thing. Um, but she had sent those videos to me, and I had looked through them here recently, and it's some pretty moving stuff, actually. That video of me standing, probably more than anything, but she sent some pictures of my car, my head bleeding in the hospital from I got glass in the side of my head, cut my ear pretty bad. But some stuff that really brought me to tears, and it had already been brought to my attention that some of the realest part of my journey was my brokenness in the hospital. And for those of you that came to visit me in the hospital, first of all, thank you for doing so. But those of you that did, you saw how truly broken I was, especially when it saw me early on. The first three videos I made, I kind of not joke around about it, but I definitely seem very lighthearted, in good spirits, which I am. I'm trying to, be positive, but um, I think to fully grasp what had happened, you kind of need to understand how broken I felt then and how broken I still feel. Kind really. Um, I woke up in the hospital and found out what had happened. That, changed my life completely. Um, my ex-wife and I had just split up, and I had just gotten my own place like 3 days before the accident. Um, so I had to get out of that lease because what was I gonna do? Luckily, I was able to, but I still wasn't living at home or with her anymore. So luckily, my mom and stepdad let me stay at their place. I've said that before. That was one of the first things that went through my head. And like, what do I do? I don't have anywhere to go. Really, I didn't think I did. Um, I thought of my kids because it's preventing me from being the dad that I want to be. I'll get back to that. I'm sure. I have faith that I will. But when you're not allowed to pick up your kids because of a weight restriction, or I was playing ball with Miles the other day and he didn't understand why I couldn't pick up the ball. It was right at my feet. It's not easy. And they don't understand completely. They try to, and my kids have been seriously the greatest thing in my life right now. And obviously, but they're so understanding and so loving. I just can't even. But I thought of them right away. I didn't know what to expect from my future, and I really don't still. Uh, just take one day at a time, try to get healthier and stronger every day. But with how weak I was those first few days, first week in the hospital, I did not understand how I was going to get stronger from there. I'm starting to understand. I'm starting to see action come to fruition, which is good. Um, but I just felt very sorry for how things happened, and just felt very bad for my family. I don't ever want to feel like a burden on them. And I felt that way with my mom and stepdad and other people, my grandparents. And they would tell me not to. But still, I can't help the way I feel. Um, yeah, I was just very scared, very unsure, and lost. I felt numb, literally numb from my waist down. And that was scary. When your legs don't do what they're supposed to, what your mind's trying to tell them to do, it just doesn't happen. That was a lot to take in. I didn't know if I'd be able to walk. Um, but I mean, the brokenness is definitely a part of the journey, but I don't plan on remaining broken. When I look back at videos and pictures, yeah, it makes me thankful for where I am now. It makes me cry, but it's a part of the journey for sure. It's a pretty big part. Um, Sorry, I keep doing that. But I touched on blessings in the last video, and I didn't really get into too much detail there. I mentioned a couple things, but the biggest blessings that I've found out of this so far, I get my kids every weekend, and I've gotten to spend actual quality time with them. I wish it didn't involve having this on, but the time that I've gotten with my kids has been absolutely amazing. They actually decorated this up for me. They did this yesterday they did this. So pretty fresh. We got some awesome artwork. They even put our names on the straps. I'm so blessed to have them in my lives and to be with them more often and playing board games and just, I don't know, watching shows and movies together and just having that time. It's not exactly how I want it, but I will always remember this time being spent with my kids for sure, and how much love and kindness and caringness, is that a word? It doesn't matter if it is a word or not. Just how much they've cared for me. It's unreal. Um, and I've been staying with my mom and stepdad. And my mom has definitely been, the one taking care of me above anyone else. I really wouldn't be able to do any of this without her. She's pretty amazing. And I've gotten to spend a lot more time with her. I'm sure I get on her nerves all the time, but it has been good to get that time together. I don't know how else we would have gotten this time that we've had in the last few months had it hadn't been for the accident. And same with my grandparents. They've helped out so much as well, not only with me, but with me and my kids. Um, Sorry. But the time I've gotten to spend with them is awesome as well. Is just, I hate to admit this, but I wasn't the greatest grandson. I didn't come out to my grandparents' house and check in on them, call them and see how they're doing. And I don't want to feel like a burden on them, but the time that I've gotten to spend with my grandmother and my grandfather is something I didn't foresee happening, and something I wouldn't I'm never going to take for granted. I love them very much. And I actually rode with my grandmother, just me and her, in a car, I think for the first time. She was driving, I was her passenger. We were running some errands. Um, I honestly don't believe that has ever happened in our lives. So that was kind of cool. She says that we played euchre for the first time together the other day, but I'm pretty sure that we've played euchre together before. But regardless, it hasn't been that often. And just being able to spend that time with them and my mom and hanging out is a huge blessing that has come out of this. And I wouldn't take that back at all. So yeah, the brokenness has been real. I've felt broken since the beginning, since this happened, and still a little bit now. I mean, it's still unsure as what happens from here on out, but I'm willing to work at it and count my blessings along the way. So a little more real there. Thanks for listening.